Good evening, everyone. I'm Rohit Raghavan, and I'm going to present you with the third day of the puzzle series. And these are the puzzles which I'm going to show you, and I will explain you with the detailed solution of every puzzle regarding how to think and how to approach the puzzles that are in front of you. So let's get started. The first position is this position where it's white to move and win. If you see the position carefully, uh, White has White is actually queen down, but what he has an activity as an activity is this dark squared bishop. This dark squared bishop is actually being such a monstrous piece, which is extremely active in this diagonal, and it's basically cutting off the king from going to f8, e7, etc. And also, this pawn on h6 is unstoppable and is ready for promotion as well. H7 and H8 is kind of unstoppable. So it's white to move and finish off the game. Also, this rook on H3 is attacking bishop on M4, and otherwise also this rook on B1 is controlling this open file. Knight on E1 acts as a defensive square. Knight on E3 is not doing much here. So the crucial pieces are bishop, rook, and pawn. So how will we think? First of all, rook takes h4 is a natural move, but rook takes h4 actually delays the time for white pieces to take for the white pieces to launch a devastating attack. For example, if let's say we play rook takes h4 here, then black has a very very sharp and simple reply, which is rook takes b2. Okay, rook takes b2. Why it is sharp? Because it is sharp because now this bishop, which is controlling this long diagonal, is completely eliminated. First up, and secondly, this queen on a5 actually attacks this e1 square with precision, and this is a checkmate. I mean, this is not a checkmate. The knight can cover to f1, but then thereafter bishop. Sorry, uh, I'm so sorry. Bishop takes f1 comes and seals the deal for black. And moreover, queen can also take on h4 when it is giving a queen even check in case of rook takes b2. Okay, so we should not allow that. We have to find forcing moves, and generally, it's a good idea to find forcing moves when you are down material. Forcing moves means immediate checks, immediate threats, and immediate tactics. In this position, I see an immediate tactic or an immediate check in the form of this H pawn moving up by one square to H7. Now check. Okay. Pawns give checks diagonally or capture diagonally. Hence, this is a check. And now this king cannot go to H8 because this is a cross because this bishop actually controls every square that is on this diagonal. Okay, I'm putting a cross, so just see through it carefully. This bishop actually controls everything in this path. So king cannot go to h8, hence it will go to f8, but then we have a surprise. This h pawn is going to promote, and then it's going to get on board as queen. Okay, and after that, it's game winning for white because this rook on h4, because this rook can take on h4. Okay, so that's one agenda. And now rook takes b2 cannot be possible because this queen can swing over to e2 and this rook protects this e1 knight. So queen takes e1 is not possible in this position. So the correct move or the correct sequence is actually h7 check, king f8, and h8 equals to queen. Thereafter, king e7, and you can take with the queen, like queen takes h4, giving a check, or you can also go for rook takes h4. That's the first solution. So now let's move on to the second puzzle. This is the second puzzle of the day. is fight to move and win. Basically, if you see this position, the king is completely open, black king, and we just require one check here, which is rook h6. But the problem is this knight is defending this h6 square to deny checkmate. So the simple thought that comes to our mind is to eliminate this knight somehow. If we have some mechanism to eliminate this knight now and now only, then it's a checkmate. Then we can achieve the checkmate through rooks. Okay. Now, what are the ways to capture this knight? Only two: rook takes f5 and queen takes f5. Both moves seem absurd because rook on g5 is worth 5 points, whereas knight on f5 is worth only 3 points. And whereas in the other scenario, queen on c2 is worth 9 points, and knight on f5 is also worth only 3 points. So does it give sense? Does it even make sense to give the queen for a knight, or should we trade in the rook for the knight? Turns out it actually makes a lot of sense to sacrifice this queen for the knight. Reason is, as I said, rook h6 is an impending threat here, and the next move it will be checkmate. Okay, but uh, the main thing is you might think that okay, queen takes f5 is coming, and only move is rook takes f5 here first of all, and once rook takes f5 comes, then rook h6 is becoming unstoppable. But what if queen comes to e6? Well, you can just take this queen to e6 as well. So the correct solution is queen takes f5, rook takes f5, and rook h6. And if the queen is not taken, you can just leverage checkmate again on h6 anyway. Okay. So I think the second puzzle is clear. Next, move on to the third puzzle. Third puzzle, it's black to move and win. Okay. This is a very sneaky puzzle. Reason is it's based on a concept known as zugzwang as well as deflection. Two concepts. Zugzwang, sorry, zugs and deflection. I'm sorry for writing it slowly, but this is the spelling. Two concepts which are known as deflection and zugzwang. Okay. So what is the zugzwang here? Why it is in zugzwang? Why? Because the knight and bishop are on the second rank, and king is on last rank. This pawns, this mass pawn majority on the center is unable to give them any breathing space, so as to speak, and therefore they are feeling helpless. So one thing to think about this position is to promote this pawn somehow. So we may think that okay, we can go rook e3 and then king d2, then rook e2 win the knight, or if not king d2, then okay, king f1 and then d2 followed by rook e1. That's one thinking. And other thinking is to go rook e1, king d1, rook e1 and king d1, and thereafter there seems to be no plausible way to break through the white defenses. You can go rook e2 and grab I mean, one of the pieces of white. But again, that's not the most efficient, and that's not the most simplified way of finishing off the game in style. Instead, can we think of a stylish move here? Not stylish, but a tactical move which completely bamboozles white from the word go. Yes, the answer is d2. Why? If we sacrifice this d2 pawn, let's say the king takes on d2, then you have rook takes f2, obviously. And rook takes, it's not only rook takes f2, it's rook takes f2 plus, and plus means a check. So rook takes f2, grabs the knight, it attacks the king on d2 with a check, and also attacks this bishop on g2. So both are dead by a single stone. Okay, both the knights and bishops are dead by a single stone, and the stone is our pawn. Okay, so you are saying, okay, Rohit bro, what happens if the king, let's say, in this variation, you are saying it, okay, I'm accepting it. So D2 check, and if he goes king E2, then what will happen? Then there is a beautiful move as well. You can try to find it in 5 seconds. I can tell you afterwards. Okay, the correct move is rook takes f2 again, and rook takes f2 reserves a brilliancy. Okay, rook takes f2 deserves a brilliancy here. Why? Because after d2 king e2 rook takes f2, the king is forced to take this rook. Actually, not forced, but he has to go a sad move called king d1, and that's even more sadder than it looks. So rook takes f2 check. I mean, if he goes rook takes f2 and king takes f2, we have a nice queen on the board. Let me show it to you once through visual depiction. d2 check, king e2, rook takes f2, king takes f2, and d1 equals to queen. It's winning for white. It's winning for black. Okay, so that's that. Answer is d2 king e2 rook takes f2. Check and making the queen. Okay, so this was the third puzzle. So here is our next position. It's white to move actually. So let's explore the next position as well. Here, if we see the queen on d2 and the knight on e3 work, do a good job here. So what we have to think here is basically, as I said, this concept is known as discovered check. Okay, I have covered it a lot of times earlier in my endgame sessions as well. And this concept where a powerful piece is standing behind a piece which is waiting to move in the next move. It's known as discovered check, discovered attack. But in this case, since the attack is on king, therefore it's a check, and that's known as a discovered check. Okay, discovered check is a subset, or basically you can say it is a part of uh, what should we say? It's a part of a discovered attack. Okay, so let's get started. Here I can see multiple moves such as knight to d1, knight to d5, knight to c4, knight to g4, and knight to f5. Now, which of this is correct, actually? And why am I actually considering only this knight? Reason is discovered attack. And this king is so open that we have to exploit him beautifully. But the point is, this we also should not allow this king to go back to somewhere like h6. Okay. For example, someone might play h4 here, but king can just move back to h6, and even if you try knight f5 check, the king is safely going to go to h7 and queen h6, king g8. The game is kind of not finishing at all. Okay, and the black king suddenly seems very, very safe. Similarly, other moves such as knight d5 just gets one pawn for you, and you can just basically go king f5 and then knight e3, king g5. Let's say you go knight c4 and then king f5. This rolling thing happens again and again and again. Okay, so there is no as such solution to it, but we have a very, very tricky move which kind of instantly finishes the game in style. Can you find it? I hope you can. The move here is knight f5. Knight f5. Check. Now, try to imagine the ramifications of this knight placed on being f5, which is being enprised or being ready to be captured by one, two, three, four, and five. I mean, five pieces are controlling this f5 square so dominantly, but still our knight is jumping to f5. It's quite bravely saying that the king is going to get checkmated very soon. Don't take stress about my demise. So that's the power of a knight, guys. So knight f5, king takes f5 is the only option because king cannot go back to h6. This diagonal is being controlled by the queen. He cannot go to h4 because this knight controls this h4 square. Neither it can go to f4. Only move left is this g4. So we'll look at the best possibilities. We look at the best possibilities. Knight f5, check. If you go king d4, then queen f4, and queen h4 is a classic checkmate. Okay, king g4, queen f4, king h3, queen h4 is a classic checkmate. And if he critical line is what if he captures? Well, if he captures, then also I have this queen f4 beautiful check, and it seems that it's not only a check, it's a checkmate. And black is not embodied to suffer for a long period of time. That's it. That said, black can actually escape this position if you play badly. Okay, so caution, guys. Just go for the discovered attack that is most forcing and mostly limiting the squares of your opponent's king. It should restrict the activity of your opponent's king. That's the main idea. Okay, I hope you understood it. Last puzzle. Last puzzle is this one, where you have white to move and win again. And this must be a very, very simple puzzle. I will leave it on to you guys to solve this, but let me just give you one basic hint here. So basically, what you have to do is you should protect this f3 pawn, okay, because this rook is actually protecting it. And basically, think something about this rook. If you think something about this rook traveling along this line anywhere, then you are doing a great job. So I will leave it on to you guys. Thank you for watching this video and subscribe to this Nilgiri channel, Nilgiri YouTube channel, as well as like the video, share it to your friends regarding the tactics. And if you really want to learn more about the puzzles or the videos, or literally you want to improve anything, and if you are from Nilgiri House, you can definitely join our club. Our club is ready to welcome passionate, enthusiast people. You know, we are ready to welcome everyone with both our arms, and we will be grateful to have you on board as well. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. See you. Bye bye. Thank you.